Hi everyone, it's Victoria, the Soul Nurturer, and I had promised a video last week about what to do when we're triggered. So it's my first opportunity was today to create this video. I had wanted to get it out before today because today there's some intense astrological weather going on, possibly, like weather can change. There's a possibility, I'll say, of intense weather because we've got some aspects like oh gosh, Mars in opposition to Pluto. I could just stop there and that's enough to deal with Mars opposite Pluto. That can be intense. We also have Moon square Pluto and Mars, and then there's Neptune and Mercury in a square, and then we're in a Mercury retrograde. Okay, I don't want to get us more triggered. Now, remember, when I talk about astrology, I am fascinated by it. I call myself a soul tracker. I track everything that has to do with my unfolding and our unfolding. And for me, it helps me make sense of what is. And it helps me remind me that we are in a collective transformational process, ongoing, unfolding all the time. And just like the weather, if I were to tell you, yeah, it's going to be stormy outside, you would dress appropriately. So yeah, it might be a little emotionally stormy today. So take care of your inner accordingly, okay? Before I get into some ideas about how do we manage being triggered, what does that even mean? What does it mean to you when you feel triggered or you hear someone say, that really triggered me? What does that mean to you? We hear a lot about it these days because fortunately there's a lot more awareness about trauma and trauma responses or reactions, and this is also helping us to heal in a more deeper way. So I have some ideas for you today to support you on your journey to help you nurture your mind, body, and soul. I'm sure you have your own go-tos, but it's a good reminder that, put your raincoat on and carry an umbrella, or bring out your inner storm tools to help you be with what the weather is like, what the energy is like. Okay, so let's drop in because I really need this. I love the idea of doing these videos, but then it comes to where am I going to place this time and where am I going to find this time. But today it was really on my heart. I needed to do this, not just for you, but for me as well, and as my contribution to supporting where I can. So let's just drop in for a moment. If you're not driving, go ahead and close your eyes. Take this outside if you can and listen outside. There's nothing better than facilitating ourselves with getting outside, putting our feet on the earth, okay? But just be where you are and just take a few moments with me right now to drop in, connect, become aware of what's going on inside this world that only we have access to. No one can enter your mind and your inner experience but you. You have the controls, although I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Okay, I have to take a sip of water because, note to self, don't eat any almond butter before you record a video. Okay. All right, just flowing with what is. Let's go ahead and close our eyes, bringing our awareness inward and just noticing in this moment. And part of regulating when we're triggered, so I'm just going to do this in the meditation, is to name what we're noticing. Okay, it sort of neutralizes it. So I'm noticing, I'm noticing some dryness in my throat, probably from the almond butter. And I'm noticing a little tightness in my chest. I'm noticing I'm not breathing fully into my belly. This is an indicator that I am not in a balanced homeostasis state, that my energy is pulled elsewhere, that I might be on the verge of a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. I do get a little nervous when I do these videos. I'm not sure, well, I do know why. That's a little vulnerable. recording a video and putting it out there for anyone to see. But that's where I'm practicing these days. Expanding my vulnerability. Stepping forward. Showing up. So what are you noticing in your body? Let's just start there. And as I ring my meditation bowl, allow it to take you even deeper into this present moment. Into this present moment where we can claim safety, where we can claim calm energy. Whatever you're noticing, if it's if you're in a triggered response, or if you're feeling stressed or some anxiety, anything other than the present moment awareness of calm and stillness, your mind is taking you to the past. This is what triggering is. Something happens in the present moment. It bumps into one of our wounded places. It triggers an unhealed area in our minds that we haven't dealt with perhaps, or have, but it comes up sometimes. We could have a grief trigger. Grief is something that's part of our journey. We never fully complete that journey. As long as we're alive and we've loved and we've lost, we'll feel that. So triggered reaction is something in the present moment that opens up our, well, first through our brainstem, a threatened response perhaps, and then in the limbic system, a memory, something that's, very familiar to what we're experiencing that wasn't healed, or in our cortex association, we're associating this at another time again that wasn't healed, or has some energy or still some charge or hold on us. So just noticing as we breathe into this moment, and breathing in deeply and fully is the way to turn off those alarms in the mind, in the brain. The triggers, the rise in tension or anxiety. It's kind of like the fire alarm has gone off. No, we are in control, remember, in there. So one simple tool I always start with is putting your hand gently over your heart. And breathing in. Just noticing how instantly calming this is right here. You can add a little bit more with this question. Especially, this is my go-to tool when I'm triggered, when I feel some tension arising, or feel threatened by someone or something. Come back to self, connect to self, and hand over heart and ask, what do I need in this moment? Or what is the need for healing in this moment? Okay. And then also you can just breathe in. What do you need? The energy of it. Oh, I need to feel calm. I need to feel safe. This is the common need when we're triggered. So breathe in the energy of safety right now. And exhale any fear or doubt or worry. And it's also good to put your hand on your belly too and take that breath all the way down. That gut reaction, right? Sometimes it's the body reacting before we have awareness of what's going on, why we're triggered. So breathing into your body, feel that connection there too, and then back to heart. Okay. So we're going to come on back now. Oh, that was a loud triggering. Oh my. That's better. That's better, right? Okay. So what I've noticed about this day already is there's a lot to practice with. There is a lot to practice with already. And I haven't even left my house. So, it's other people, experiences on the external that trigger us, right? So triggering, right? I want to speak to those of you, especially who are empathic, or those of you who have had trauma. This is a time to be really, really tender, really, really connected to yourself, to really practice some good self-care, right? So being triggered is having that intense emotional reaction. And when there's an intense emotional reaction, we can know this is not about the thing that's happening in front of us. This is connected somewhere else to another time. So after I go through some of the ideas of how to regulate yourself and, come back to self and kind of be at a place where you feel more calm, more peaceful, more safe in the moment, then you can do some of the inner work that I suggest of, tracking that root cause, right? But before we get there, let's get to how do we take care of ourselves when we're in a heightened reaction or triggered. First advice I give is don't take any action when you're in reaction. Okay, that's easier said than done. Of course, when we're in reaction, we've flipped our lids. This is our cortex, this is our limbic system, this is sort of a model of the brain. This is our brainstem, primal brain, on the alert for any threats anyway, right? Limbic system, these two are sort of always on the lookout for any threats or similarities to where we've been harmed before. How we learned to not touch the hot stove. Well, we have a lot of hot issues, some of us, that we cannot control the hot stoves around us sometimes. And so we're going to flip our lid, our cortex, our ability to have logic, reasoning, and, sort of process through it, think through it. We flip our lid and we're left with this reactive, all I've got here is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I don't have the logic or reasoning to talk myself out of that reaction, right? So just know that, if you're totally triggered, to the best of your ability, maybe have some reminders around you, like Post-its, that come back to self. Put your hand over your heart, breathe, whatever helps you, right? So on a day like today, I try to set myself up to be supported. I pull out all my favorite self-soothing tools. I have them handy. I start my day with setting intention and prayer and meditation. And then I take out some of my essential oils like lavender, that is very calming and soothing. Or jasmine, I love because it makes me feel like I'm on vacation. And I just smell that, it smells so good and it's calming. And it also, I have an association to jasmine, again, of being like on a tropical island somewhere, right? So you want to take care of yourself, that extreme self-care for extreme, intense, transformational times like the ones we're in, and this day in particular. So again, turning off the alarm is the first thing. Hand over heart, deep breaths. Take yourself outside if you can. Take your shoes off if you can. Put your feet on the earth if you can. There's nothing better to call us back to our true nature than being in nature. Overreactions and triggering, they're not bad. They're revealing what needs to be healed, right? One of my teachers, Reverend Michael, says that a lot. Whatever is revealed needs to be healed, right? So borrowing that from him. So they're actually gifts to show us where the past is calling us in the future to do that healing. And if you want to play a even more expanded game of sacred awareness and healing, the person triggering you is actually the one delivering the gift, right? So when we heal, we could actually have gratitude for them, but that takes a bit, We're all evolving, we're resolving to evolve, so we'll get there. So grounding, as I said, go outside, put your feet on the ground. Imagine dropping roots of safety and security and trust. Trust is essential to cultivate when we're triggered, because again, triggering is we don't feel safe in this present moment. We don't trust on some level that we'll be able to navigate what is, we'll be able to handle the situation, the conflict, the person, the whatever. So trust, to drop a deep, deep root of trust. And when I say that, what I mean is imagine what trust feels like, times that you've been in a deep place of trusting, and just imagine moving the energy all the way down through your core, down deep into the earth. So you're rooting in that energy so it can hold you, okay? As you do this, hand over heart is good, telling yourself over and over again, reminder, just saying, I am safe. In this present moment, all is well, okay? Another great thing to do when you're triggered. I'm going longer than I expected, but hey, it's a triggering conversation, so we have to kind of flow with it and claim it in a way that we can come back to a nice, calm, wonderful place. So sorry, I had intended to keep these 10 minutes or under, but we're going longer. Anyway, I'll go quickly now. My favorite, move with it, dance. For me, if I'm super triggered or I'm angry and I've got this energy and I don't want to let it live inside of me, which we don't want to do. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. If we're going to push it down and not deal with it, it's going to live inside of us. And then we'll feel it in other ways. So you want to move with it. So shake it out. Just really, literally just shaking it. Shake it out. If you've studied any of Peter Levine's trauma work, he's my go-to trauma guy. He suggests just shaking your body. This is what animals do in nature to regulate. They've been chased and their life is in threat. There's a regulating process that is like the whole body shakes. Then they get up and they go back to their normal day. Just completely fine, no fear. They're not living in anxiety. They're not living in a fight or flight or freeze or triggered response or reaction. So shake it out, but put on some of your favorite music, or if you're really angry or intense energy, put on some intense music and move with it in an intensive way. Now imagine allowing your body to do the communication, to communicate what maybe you weren't provided the opportunity to say to the person, or didn't feel safe to say, or it was just so much energy that you didn't even have words for it. So move with it with dancing. One of my favorite. Peter Levine also recommends just stomping your feet, just stomping it, get it out, right? So we want to clear that energy so that we can, bring back to our inner being what supports us, what holds us. So oftentimes when I do a clearing like that, dancing or whatever, you immediately feel better, right? For me, I do. But then you want to I call it kind of a flush of love, like or compassion or acceptance, whatever you need. What's the antidote to what you were feeling? If you were feeling judged and that triggered you, you need a big dose of acceptance, right? So just flush the body with the energy of acceptance. Imagine it just kind of saturating every cell of your body and soaking it up. I think that the greatest medicine is just really embodying self-love, unconditional love, and deep self-acceptance. And it's kind of like we're so full of that and feeling so good that whatever someone says or does, it doesn't penetrate, right? There's no room. And we're occupied with love and acceptance. Nobody's got any time for judgment or blame or any of that shame stuff that sometimes people do when they're triggered, And remember too that wounded people like to wound others, or hurt people. So just be aware that people aren't intentionally, I don't think, I want to not believe this, trying to hurt us. They just don't know what to do with all their stuff inside of them, and so it's kind of like trying to put it all off on someone else. I often joke that it's old school shadow work is that we had so much wisdom in elementary school. I don't know if some of you might not have had this when you were in elementary school. Maybe it was just my generation, but I remember we would say something like, I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off me and sticks on you. So filling up with love and acceptance, it's like, that doesn't resonate here. There's no place in me. So I'm going to bounce that off me and I'm going to return that back to you so you can have that. There's a classic story. Gosh, I'm so talkative today. I guess I have a lot to say. Here we are. But there's a classic story about Martin Luther King where he was in church somewhere and I think he was going to do a presentation or he was just there, and this irate racist man walked up to him with disgust and all of his animosity, seeing Martin Luther King there, and he spit on him. What did Martin Luther King do? Did he flip his lid? Did he get triggered? Nope. You know what he did? He took his handkerchief out of his pocket. I guess it's over here where men were back in the day. Wiped off the spit off of his lapel, folded the handkerchief, handed it back to the man and said, I think this belongs to you. I love that story so much. Like, no, this doesn't belong to me. I'm not receiving hatred and anger or your crap. I'm holding love and acceptance. So there's no room here for what you're trying to put on me. So I love that, and it's a great image too. Just imagine if someone does get something on you, you want to get that off. You want to clear that. Return to sender. I'm not accepting that energy. Return. Okay. So really, the greatest key is to come back to the present moment. Again, remember, if you're triggered, it's the past meeting the present. For me, anxiety is the past projected into the future, right? And then that can get really large and really overwhelming. So, what do we know about the present moment? This is a trauma regulation technique where you bring yourself back to the present moment. And as we did with our bodies, naming what we're noticing on the inner, we're going to notice what's around us. But for me, I like to add that you want to maybe focus in on things that help you feel calm or safe or cozy in your home or wherever you are. This is a great thing to do outside because, again, nature is just the most divine healer of all, right? But what you want to do is you want to look and notice what you see and name it. I see books on my bookshelf. I see some affirmations on my refrigerator. I see the trees blowing in the wind outside of the space. What you can touch. I'm touching the table in front of me. I'm touching my heart. Okay, what do you hear? I hear the wind blowing outside. I hear some soft music playing on my computer. What do you smell? Well, I smell yummy jasmine on my skin, and that's really lovely, and some lavender too. And what can you taste? Well, I can still taste my almond butter that I shouldn't have had just before the video. So, so the idea there is you're calling yourself back to the present moment, in the present moment where really, truly, as Eckhart Tolle reminds us, everything is okay in the present moment. Nothing wrong in the present moment, but how we're interpreting what is, right? Okay, so it's also important, you want to move that energy, but you also want to express the energy. This is a good time since, when you're triggered, there's a lot of information flowing through you, through the unconscious that you want to become conscious and present to. So it's a good time to journal or just do as, the artist's way. Julia Cameron taught us such a gift of a process. Like morning pages, just stream of consciousness. Get it out, get it out, get it out, dump it out. Or if you feel more like you want to do something with the material coming, journal, of course. Write a poem if you're inclined. Sing a song that or write a song if you write songs. It's a perfect time for singer-songwriters to harness energy and get a lot of rich material to flow through you towards material like a song or something, a creative offering. Okay, then I want to suggest that you reach for compassionate connection with a trusted friend or a therapist or a soul guide, someone that is able to hold compassionate, loving presence for you. I believe that what's essential to deep healing is being able to be witnessed at the deepest level of our deepest wounds with love and compassion. That right there, I think, is a missing piece in a lot of processes I've learned over the many years of all my various trainings. That's essential, okay? If you don't have access to a good friend or a therapist or a soul guide, look in the mirror. Connect to that wise and loving being that you see through your eyes, through the window to the soul, and just hold a compassionate gaze for yourself, okay? Let's see. As I mentioned earlier, track the root cause. So what does that mean? So again, the event happening in the present moment is opening space in your mind, in your body, that is familiar or similar to that, okay? Triggers are usually always related to the past. I would say 98%. Yeah. So, but most likely, when we were younger, we didn't have the cognitive ability to figure out what was going on. We just adjusted in that space. We took on beliefs that were probably negative and not supportive to ourselves. And I believe that we kind of froze that energy in time. This is my theory about tears when we start to heal. And I'm in one of those deep healing places right now. Deeply transformational times. I have my second Saturn return. I've got Pluto on my ascendant. I've got all kinds of stuff going on that's waking up old in trauma like material, unhealed, even though I've looked at a lot of stuff. So I'm weeping a lot more. I'm crying a lot. And not to mention the times we're in right now. This is a time of a lot of intense energy, and there's a lot to be, a lot of grief for what is right now, right? So for me, though, tears are, it's like freezing. I mean, I'm melting that frozen energy. And that is often in that frozen space in the past is where our potential is. We froze it. We felt unsafe. We locked all of the potential there. So tears are, just think of it as melting away the frozen spaces to reclaim your potential, okay? And let yourself cry as much as you need. I certainly do. Okay. So some self-soothing things. Now this is where people often go, and that's good. You want to go there, take care of yourself the best you can. Offer yourself as much love and compassion and acceptance as you would a very beloved good friend. So take a bath, take a walk, get yourself outside if you can. Make a really healthy, nourishing snack for yourself. Really just be your best parent. And again, that compassion and acceptance, like this is the most powerful medicine. It inoculates us from judgment. So what are some compassionate, soothing things that you can do? Some really deeply expressing self-love for yourself. You can, wrap your arms around yourself, and just kind of maybe rock back and forth. And humming actually is a really good thing. Humming, there's been some studies that show how much that helps us regulate, and it affects us on a physical level. It helps reduce stress. It enhances calmness. So hum or sing. So those are some of my go-tos. Of course, I have a candle lit. That's actually one of my very first. If I'm feeling really agitated, I will light a candle. I will say a prayer, and when I blow that candle out, I surrender what is alive in me that I don't have control over. I pray for healing, and I surrender it. And I trust that the universe or God will meet me where I am on my healing journey. So I suggest that for you as well. All right. Well, that's about all I have for you today. I've got this under 30 minutes, which is great. I just really, really, really encourage you to offer yourself as much of your own soul medicine as you can. Compassion, acceptance, love. Take care of you. Take care of this inner world where no one but you has access. So it's time, really. This is a great time to just nurture your soul with all you have, with all of your beautiful love that you share with others. Share it with yourself. Nurture your body. Nurture your mind. Nurture your life. Okay. Thanks for spending some time with me. I sure hope this supported you today and anytime you do listen to this. Comment. Let me know what your regulating techniques are. What's your go-to? What helps you? And any comments, any takeaways from this video, I always love to hear those. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And that's about it. I will see you next time to support you and me, all of us, in this beautiful gift of life that is unfolding through and as us every moment of every day. Take good care until next time.